My name is Paul Church from Clarity here in the UK. Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. I see we have a few people in the room already over on our YouTube page. So good morning to Karen and Ian. Hope you're both well. Eyes are coming in now. We can see that we've got 12 viewers. So we shall have our usual bit of waffling around until more of our friends join the party. Pull up a chair. Good morning, Mo. Hope you had a lovely Easter. Yes, nice and relaxed, thank you. That's my check from Sue saying that all is good. So good morning, here we come. Everyone's coming in this morning. Who have we got so far? We've got Mo, we've got Angela. Oh, let me just get rid of that little message. There we go. Okay, these pop-ups. The lovely Sue's in the room with you this morning. So if you've got any questions, then she's there to help. I'm sure, there we go. Some of our lovely design team will no doubt be in the room this morning. What's the weather like with everybody today? What's it like here? It's overcast, but the sun's trying to come out. It rained a little bit earlier. Yeah. So who have we got? Lots of names. Names I'm not familiar with. So maybe we've got some newbies in the room. Let's have a scroll through. So we've got Nahid, we've got Ken, Alison, Helen, Love Poet from California. We've also got Patricia, Wendy, Celia. Celia's on holiday, so she's joining us live. Lynn, Nahid, Bobby, Jean. Who else? We've got Patricia, Ken again, all the usual suspects, Sharon and Angela so far. So, yeah, I hope everybody had a lovely Easter. It was a 4-day, well, I suppose a 4-day bank holiday really here in the UK. Good Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, and then bank holiday Monday. So who had loads of Easter eggs? Who still got loads of Easter eggs? Yeah, so yeah, it was nice to have a little bit of a break because last time I spoke, last Tuesday, and then I was up to TV Wednesday and Thursday with the In the Garden collection from Linda Williams. That went down really well. And then Thursday night you had the Shack with Barb, finishing off your E for elephants. They were lovely on the beautiful tea infusion papers, wasn't it, on the Darjeeling? Really lovely. So that was those. And then, yeah, and what have we got for you this week? So today, Groovi Tuesday today, Thursday evening in the Shack with Barb, and you'll be starting the letter F, I believe. F for fantastic or fandabidozy. And then TV on Sunday, first Sunday of the month, 3 till 5. But we can talk about that a little bit later today, can't we? Or this morning. So yeah, so it's lovely to have company. Lovely Jayne's in the room as well. Wendy's having a bad flare up today, so she's watching in bed to cheer you up. But I'm sure we can do our best to try and cheer you up, Wendy. Hope you feel better soon. Josie's in the room as well. Lillian. There we go. Do we get a sneaky peek? Well, Barb gave a sneaky peek of the TV show on Thursday. So you can go back and watch the Thursday evening show. It was right towards the end. And it's the lovely geisha stamp set reconfigured together with the lovely floral sprays and the enzos and the Japanese symbols. So yeah, lovely. Mary says she's no Easter egg. She's a Slimming World girl. Oh, not even a nibble of one. So I don't have any sneaky peeks today. But we're working on the lovely plate from Jayne Nestorenko. Many of our friends at home have been joining in along as well. So it's an A4 plate, and it's been taken Jayne's designs and Jazz sort of bijoued them, reduced them in size to create this lovely plate. And I thought it was a perfect opportunity that we could have a look at white work, and also colouring techniques. Because these are little itty bitty pieces, what sort of size are they? I think, so in centimetres, they're 4.5 centimetre squares. So nice sort of achievable, doable pieces of artwork. Perfect for creating lovely designs, whether you just use one of the squares, whether you use 4 or more. I mean, that would make a lovely card if you chose just 6 of them, wouldn't it? Or maybe just come down one side and across the bottom with something in the middle. We can have a look at some artwork that we've been looking at over the past few weeks. Have we got any newbies in the room today? Because I think this is a great one to sort of get started with. Well, not get started with, but I think it's a great one for practicing different techniques and skill sets. So if I come in, I'm going to zoom in on the artwork. There we go. See, I love the simplicity, but the elegance of this piece of artwork. And this is a piece that's been put onto a frame. And I'm guessing, because it's got sequins on there, this has been created by Glynis. Let me have a look at that one. Yeah. So Glynis has created that piece. And we're looking at the dahlia for our project, aren't we, for this week and the previous weeks. But I mean, the attention to detail in these lovely scrolled frames as well. So we've got that piece there. Then I believe this one's from Julie Campbell, and this uses our lovely doodle dies to frame it. Then we've got this lovely rose. I'm going to guess this is another Glynis piece of artwork. See, I love that you can take something so beautiful and so small and make a gorgeous card from it. Then I think I'm getting, yeah, right with the names on that one. This one's definitely Frances. So Frances has taken this one rose sprig here and built a frame all the way around the outside, and then put a lovely sentiment on the inside with love on your birthday. Then the next thing, I think this one is Josie. Let's have a sneak. Yeah, this one's Josie. So I love that Josie's got his centerpiece there of the agapanthus, and then the larger original design from Jayne around the outside. So that's that piece of artwork there. Ooh, who's done this one? Let me see if I can get. I can't guess. There's no telltale signs on this one. I reckon it could be Josie. Have a look. Is it a Josie? No, it's another Glynis. This is using the easy layout plates from Linda Williams and just breaking up the sections. Then this one, this is definitely a Frances. I love this. It always, I have to really look at it in detail. Let me bring it in on this camera, because this has all been pico cut. Isn't that mad? But it gives that lovely quilted look, doesn't it? Isn't that mad? Absolutely mad. I'd probably get away with doing, say, like this little section here. I don't know whether I would have, I could, but I don't know if I'd want to. One snip and the game's over. That's lovely though, isn't it? And then the next one. See, for me, the rose, the English rose, it's just Jayne all over. And this one, I think it's either a Josie or a Glynis. Let's have a look. It's a Glynis again. So taking the original artwork from Jayne and then just finishing it off with a little bijou one as well. And then the final piece, this one, I think, no, I don't know. See, I love the dahlias. I think the dahlias can be quite underrated at times, can't they? But I think they're a beautiful flower. And this one is Josie. And that's using Jayne's original frame, the picture frame from the collection. So you can see from the artwork, you can make pieces, cards, whether you do the toppers or larger cards. It has that versatility. I mean, you could put the dahlia in all 4 of them and do them in different colours. We've then got this piece, which is what we're working towards from Karen Jackson. So this is creating that lovely white work effect. And that's what we've been working on the past couple of weeks. So if you want, we're going to carry on with that this week, adding more white work using the various different ball tools and the shader tool as well. And we're just, it's one of those processes that has to be built up gradually. And then the other lovely piece of artwork is from Carol Baker. And for those of you that may have missed out on this, this is a lovely little box, and this is using the lattice on parchment, Barb's Bijou Floral Alphabet, Jayne for Jayne Nestorenko. And for me, this is sort of all these lovely little pieces of artwork combined into one. And I think it was in part 1, I think it was part 1 or part 2, we looked at how this had been constructed. And we had some top tips from the design team on this one as well. But using up all your scraps of parchment, because say these are only tiny little, what did I say it was? It was, yeah, I mean, these are 5 centimeters, so slightly bigger than the plates itself, but using various different techniques. So this is more your traditional colouring. Then we've got some of our lovely gel pens on there on that butterfly, using coloured parchment, clear parchment, and then our lovely doodle frames around the outside as well. All different, but all giving different looks and finishing. So imagine all of these as individual cards, or a series of 3 of them, or 4 of them, or little notelets. I mean, it's just very, very beautiful. And when you say break it down, they're all individual pieces of artwork. So that's some lovely artwork from the design team. I'm going to pop that over to one side, keep it nice and safe, and I'll pop the other artwork to one side as well, because what we're doing is we're heading towards this piece of artwork here from Karen, and we've been gradually building it up. We took the same design, and it's just a little bit of a recap while everyone pulls up a chair. So this was traced out with the number 1 tool, the number 2, the number 3, and then, which is barely visible, the number 4. Okay, and when we're talking about the 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're talking about the double-ended wooden tools that come within the starter kit. Okay, so the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And depending on which one you use will depend on the vibrancy or the brightness of the white line art. Last week we started to introduce some white work onto the back of here, and what we did was, let me bring in, let me see, a white, oh yeah, you can see that kind of, I put little asterisks, didn't I, in pencil to show that I was starting this way and I was going clockwise, so that I knew where I started and where I was finishing. So we've just been building up, and said by leaving it between the layers, when we come back in today, it's going to intensify that whiteness. Now, we've been using 2 different ways of doing the white work. We can either use our A4 black mat, which comes in the starter kit, which is hard on one side and squidgy on the reverse. Okay, so we've been using that with the assistance of a cello bag. Okay, so the bags that your Groovi plates come in, if you keep that single layer, pop that onto your black mat on the squidgy side, and it acts as a little bit of a resist when you're doing the white work. So if you're new to it. And then the other one we're going to be looking at is the pink mat. This for me is my safety net when it comes to white work. And I think I sort of touched on it on TV last week about the different, it's learning to get the right amount of pressure, not too heavy, not too light, warming up first before you go into it onto a scrap piece of parchment. Just a few little tips and tricks for you on that. So that's what we're going to be looking at today to build up the level of whiteness in those first two designs. Okay, so are we all good with that? Have I waffled enough for you to get comfortable? Who's still nibbling Easter eggs? Go on. I bet there's a few of you who've still got a stash of Easter eggs, haven't you? I did pop to the shops yesterday, but the shops were bare of Easter eggs. Sometimes you can get some discounts, can't you, after Easter? But they've been selling them for weeks beforehand at very reasonable prices. Sue's still got some Easter eggs, right? We're off to see Sue. I bet they're at home, aren't they? Actually, I don't think I had. Did I have any Easter eggs over Easter? I think I had them before Easter. Some of them were, Ken, typing with your mouth full. I think I had the Easter eggs before Easter because it was cheaper to buy an Easter egg than it was to buy a bar of chocolate. So, but there you go. Okay. Oh, we're good to go. Mo says her bunny still has some feet left. Poor bunny. Okay. So to start off with, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the various different ball tools. Okay, to see what we're going to be working with. So let's put them in order. So the 6mm ball tool, which is Linda's best friend. We've got back in stock now the 4.5 and the 3mm, so we're going to be using those. We've got the largest of the shader tools. The other two sizes are imminent. I've seen Mr. Dave in the building, so I'm sure he'll be popping down to pick up the other two sizes this week or next week. I think he's just waiting for the all clear on that. So we've got those tools. Now, if you're starting out, then we've got the number 3, the number 4 as well. But if you're looking for a step up, for example, then definitely worth having a look at the various different ball tools and maybe the shader tool as well. Lillian says she's still got last year's egg. Goodness me. Chocolate shouts as me as well. But I must admit, a normal chocolate bar has to be at room temperature, but an Easter egg has to be in the fridge. Don't know why. Maybe it's that sound of cracking it on the worktop. But yeah, strange, isn't it? Easter egg has to come from the fridge, but a normal bar of chocolate has to be at room temperature. Apart from Kit Kats. I like Kit Kats from the fridge. Who knows? Anyway, right, so let's have a look. I digress slightly, I know. So I'm going to bring in the black mat. I'm very picky, Ken. I am, I know. And I've got my cello bag. And then, so these two here that we started to build up our layers, I use the ball tools on. So we're going to repeat that process on the top ones. And then on these ones, we're going to have a look at the shader tool. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Where's the nozzle gone? There, hang on. There it is. Coming really close. Oh, happy birthday, Tina. Oh, are you in the clubs, Tina? I'm sure Sue could look into that for you. I know Sue's quite good at that. And if we've got so when we send out birthday cards, you have to be in the club, and we need to know when your birthday is. Don't need to know what year, but we just need to know when your birthday is. That's another sort of little bonus as being part of the Clarity Craft Clubs. Excuse me. Let's say if we have no record of your birthday, then obviously we can't send you one, but you do have to be in the clubs to receive one. So I'm sure Sue can look into that for you. Maybe it has gone out. I mean, I haven't had post for at least a week, and I know I'm expecting some stuff at home. So it could be, I mean, goodness me, Royal Mail prices have gone up today. Sent last week. She's going to check for you. There we go. Yes, I mean, all the Royal Mail's prices have gone up today as well. So they're probably waiting to pick up stuff to send out once the prices go up. Right, okay. So we was working with the number 6 ball tool last week. So we're going to do one more layer with the number 6 ball tool. And do you remember, if I bring in, where's my little sample sheet we was practicing on last week about where to position the ball tool on the line? If I'm going to put white work in this area here, I don't want the back of the ball tool on the line. It needs to be the middle. And we're just sort of gently, I'm going on heavy just so you can see, and we're just stroking or flicking outwards. So I'm starting on the line and then flicking outwards. Okay, and what that's doing, it's concentrating on that area. Now I've gone on really heavy so you can see that. So what we're going to do now is, you can see I'm covering the tip. I can barely see, well, I can't see the outline, but I know, as Jayne said last week, if you've used the number 1 tool, you can actually feel the ball hit the line. Okay, so we're going to put some more, another level of white work on here, and we're going to just work our way round in a clockwise fashion. Okay, just like so. So we're using the largest ball tool for this area, like so. There we go. And we're just gently flicking. I'm turning my work so it's more comfortable for me. So I'm waiting to pick up my new glasses from the opticians. Same frames, just different lenses. I bought some, I've got some of those Jayne, not the sparkly ones, some magnified ones that I can use, but I can only use them when I'm looking at the artwork. If I look up, the whole room spins. But yeah, I think they're due to be collected next week. It was interesting because when I went to the optician, because I went to an optician's when I initially got my glasses, and it was back in 2018, so very vocals. And then a couple of years back, I went to what I thought was the same optician, but it wasn't, because they're both literally a couple of doors away from one another. Got a new prescription back then, and they kept the same frames. And so when I went back to the original optician, because I preferred the originals after comparing it to the second one, and she said, "Oh, we haven't seen you since 2018." So I did confess that I'd been to a different optician, and she couldn't believe, she said, "Your frames look as if they're brand new. So I said, well, to be honest with you, I said, I only wear them a couple of hours each week. And I explained what I did. So I saved some money there. So I've just got to have the new lenses fitted. And it was interesting because, excuse me, normally with the varifocals, so the ones above the line is obviously for your distance, and the ones below the line are for close up. And so she was doing the normal testing, and she said, well, it doesn't look as if your prescription's changed. I said, well, no, it has. And so I had to explain to her that when I'm doing like YouTube or whether I'm doing TV, I mean, YouTube is fine because I'm sitting down, but when I'm at TV, I'm standing up. So the distance between my eyes and the work is a lot further. So what she had to do was adjust the prescription so that when I'm standing up, the lower part is actually in focus because it was becoming blurry. And she had to put special notes on there because she said that when they came to make them, it would have got questioned because it's not the norm. So yeah, so she did the note, and she was lovely, really lovely optician. So that I should be able to pick those up. I think it's next week. I'm just waiting for the confirmation. Right, so we've gone through now and we've started to add the second, and you can see, because I'm not going right up to the edge of the petals, not the edge, right up to the center part of the flower, we're starting to build up that sort of like light and shade, aren't we? So what we're going to do now is go back to this one, which has been traced out with the number 2 tool, and we'll repeat that process as well. And the reason we've traced out in the various different size tools is so that you can see the difference of the flower once it's finished. Because the lighter the line, the easier it is. Sometimes it means you don't have to necessarily do as many layers as white work in order to get your completed project. But it also, you need to be able to see where those lines are. So when we come to the number 4, which is barely visible, then for me, that's where not only the glasses will help, but also a light panel underneath as well. So we're just going through and we're building on our initial layer of white work. Has anyone completed their piece of artwork yet? Or are you sort of doing it in line with me and sort of doing it after Groovi Tuesday? And for me, I love the daily. I think this is a great one for learning this skill, and especially in the smaller version as well. It's definitely more forgiving and more achievable. And then sometimes you'll think, oh, that ball, it looks way too big for that area. What's all this talk of spiders? Mary said, didn't I have my glasses on when I went the second time? No. When I booked my second appointment, I thought I was booking the appointment with the first one. And it wasn't until I turned up for the appointment of the second one that I realised it was the wrong one I booked. So I just had to go with it. It doesn't matter, does it? Because now they do like this 3D scanning of the eye where they can look in and see. And the only thing that the optician picked up on this time around was, she said, your eyes are perfectly healthy. She said there's one eye that had a bit of cloudiness in the back. She said, but that's quite normal. And she said, apart from that, they're in perfectly good health. She said, the only thing I would say, she said, is that your tear ducts were blocked. So I went, oh, I said, I don't cry much. And that was it. That was the only thing. And so she just said that when you have a shower, she said, whilst it's steamy in the room, just massage your eyelids. She said, and that'll solve the problem. I went, all right, okay. Right, okay. So now we're starting to build up that level. Now this one, in this area here, it feels quite bulgy, if that makes sense. Whereas this doesn't feel as bulgy. And the reason being is, one, I've possibly gone on a little bit too heavy, but because of the bright white line art, in a way you're sort of weakening the parchment. Okay, so when you're working so close to the lines, then what can happen? It creates even more of a weakness. So this is where, as I said before, this is where you have to learn the patience, because it is a process that you have to build up slowly, and you can enhance it with a white pencil. So maybe you've got to this stage and you think, oh, that's it, I don't want to risk any more. Then you could stop at this point and then add white pencil behind it to enhance it. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, I've used the number 6. So this is where we're now going to move down to the 4.5 ball tool. So if you have a look at the difference in the size, there's, you can see there's definitely a different size in the ball tool. Okay, so say we've finally got these back in stock. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to give another wipe with the tumble dry sheet, like so. Slurp of coffee. And I'm not saying you have to, but I just think that because I'm going over it again and again in one process, it will just help. So now, following the same process, okay, and we can see I am going on a little bit more heavier than I would normally, just so that we can sort of see a result. Okay, now if when you're doing it, if you find that you're not making complete contact with that white line and you have got a little bit of a gap in between, we can sort that out when we move down to the 3mm ball tool. Okay, because we have a little bit more control with the smaller ball tool. Okay, so we're just slowly building that level of whiteness up. That's it. And then as we're going round, you'll notice that what I'm doing is I'm flicking around the corner. So I'm following the shape of petal. Okay. There we go. So we're just following it through, like so. But you'll notice we're still not going right up to the tip or the inner part of the flower, because we're creating that sort of that light and shade effect, like so. seems very quiet in the room today. Is everybody all right? Or is all this talk of chocolate Easter eggs so you are foraging? Okay, so we're just slowly building up the layers. Looks weird upside down, doesn't it? So what else have I got to tell you on this lovely Tuesday morning? So Thursday evening at 7 p.m, you can join Barb live in the shack, continuing on with the lovely alphabet. And it's letter F, I believe. Barb said F for fantastic. I'm not sure how you're going to draw a fantastic, but I'm sure the bus driver has a plan on that. So that's on Thursday at 7 o'clock. And don't forget, any of these episodes you can go back and watch again and again and again, all for free over on the Clarity YouTube page. So there's lots over there to keep you company. So you can go back and watch the first sort of episode of the F4 Flutterby's. On all of those. Then on Sunday, it's the first Sunday, I can't wait, it's the first Sunday of April. And the clocks changed. Who forgot to change their clocks at the weekend? I suppose nowadays the digital clocks do themselves automatically, don't they? I'd say old-fashioned, but your wind-up ones, often your wall clocks, or your mantelpiece clocks. They're the ones that. And why is it always the cooker one needs changing? So I did forget, but I didn't forget. I knew they were changing, and normally I would change them before I go to bed, but I forgot, and then I woke up. But the first clock I look at is my phone, and that had updated anyway. So I forgot about that. Yeah, the clocks had changed. So it's now lighter evenings. There we go. You can see now as we're starting to build up the levels of whiteness. Where was it? Oh yeah, so Sunday, first Sunday of the month, with Barb on TV, with some lovely stamps. So Barb gave a sneaky peek in the shack on Thursday evening. She may even give you another sneaky peek this Thursday evening. So is it me, or is this is becoming, it's not whiter, quicker, but yeah, I don't know. I suppose because you've got the contrast of the bright white, it just seems to look more effective with the softer tone of the white line art, doesn't it? Or is it just me? So we're just following the line art through. And we're just, see, I'm using the tool and I'm following the curve of the petals, like so. A little bit heavy on that one. So I don't know whether I did go on heavy or not, or whether I'd say I think it just seems more prominent on a softer line. Okay, and is it working? The sound of silence. Am I back on track? Is it working? Is it working? Is it working? What's he saying? Can hear me? Yes. See, a quick little reboot of both the mic pack, full batteries. So, yay, I'm back. Okay. Oh dear. I bet you like this. I bet you just switched all the volume off, haven't you? I think someone pulled the plug somewhere. So, right. I don't even know what I'm saying now. Okay. Let's go back to our white work. I don't know if I'd finished or not now. Okay. I don't think I have. I think I got to about here. So we're still working with the 4.5, like so. Isn't it funny sort of technology when it doesn't want to play, it doesn't want to play. Isn't it funny how we suppose we take sound for granted, don't we? Yeah. And then when the sound's not there, no, I'm definitely not blaming Sue. Sue's in another room. I'll just put it down to every now and again it just decides it's probably sick of the sound of my voice, so it decides to turn itself off. But yeah, at least we got at least we got the sound back, and whether that's good or bad. I thought I just hadn't spoken for a while, and I thought, oh. So this is so in a way now we've done 3 layers, haven't we? We've done 2 layers with the 6mm portal. So if I turn that over, there we go. So we've got 2 layers of the 6 and 2 layers of the 6. We've done 1 layer of the 4.5. I was telling you about Sunday. Yes, I was telling you about Sunday. So yes, Sunday, first Sunday of the month, 3 till 5, with Barb. All things Japanese. And no doubt Barb will give some more sneaky peeks on Thursday evening in the shack. So what I'm going to do a little note on this piece of parchment on my practice piece. So let me just swap onto the hard mat. So we've used the 6mm. We've used the 4.5mm. Parchment doesn't sometimes like a biro. And then I'm going to use, let's do a pencil. And then we've got the 3mm. So we've done 2 layers with the 6mm. And so far we've done 1 layer with the 4.5. So now I'm going to do another layer with the 4.5. Okay, so back to my soft mat, my bit of a safety net. I thought we started the second daily with the shader, but it was probably me not listening. No, I don't think I did. I can't remember what I did last week. I think was it this one I was showing last week? This was I think I digressed, didn't I? I traced a bit out and went with the shader tool on this one. I'm going to keep the shader tool for these 2 down here. So, excuse me, just have a guzzle of coffee. Second one is definitely flatter than the first. Must be the initial bossing that makes the difference. I think so. I think because what you're doing is this is where your white work is fighting the line art. Not fighting, but it's competing. That's a better word, competing. Whereas this one here, to me, this looks whiter than that one. But it's only, I think it's one of those, like, not an optical illusion. I think it's the eye, isn't it? The eye is drawn more to the bright white line art than it is on this one. So what we're going to do one more layer using the 4.5. Where's my Groovi guard? There we go. So we're still following the same process. Like so. Now what I can tell you is, as I'm doing this, I can feel that it's definitely weaker in the areas closest to the white line art. Okay, so I know that I need to be extra careful, and also because I'm going on fairly quickly after each layer, I know I'm definitely weakening the parchment than what I would be normally. And I can also see that from looking at the overhead, I'm sort of not as close to the line art as I'd like to be on some of them. But we're going to fix that when it comes to dropping down to the 3 mil. Okay. But that will definitely have to wait until next week, because we're really stretching and stressing the parchment by going on so quickly between the layers. So next week it would definitely have had a chance to have sort of bounced back a little bit. Okay. So we're just going round and round again, like we have been, in a clockwise direction. Sorry, I've stopped talking. Hasn't gone silent again. Yeah, so obviously you've got Barbara's blog this week to keep an eye on, because all the lovely artwork for the TV shows will be appearing there as well. You've got the Clarity Matters blog on Saturday, the Saturday share from Gracie, and then a step-by-step project on Sunday. So it's always handy to keep an eye out on the blogs, especially in the lead up to a TV show. So, would you believe it or not, my watch is just telling me it's time to stand. Time to stand? Hang on, am I on the wrong one? Oh, I don't know. I've gone to this one first, haven't I? I don't know now. And it's also a good idea if you sign up to our newsletters. We send you an email before every Shack and Groovi Tuesday TV Facebook Live. If we're doing a craft along, you get notified of that as well. Upcoming TV shows, special offers. Oh, and don't forget, we've got our open days coming up in June. So if you're interested for 2 fun-filled days in Ditton, so you can pop a link up to those. On our website, we've got a section called events, and it gives you details of our open days and our summer retreats and our parchment retreats as well. So I'm sure Sue could pop a link up there. If you've got any questions, you can either give Sue a call or drop Sue an email, and she's more than happy to help on that. So there we go. So now we're going to go to this one. So yeah, I mean the open days are the highlight of the Clarity events calendar, where we get to meet lots of lovely friends, old and new, and I don't mean age. And it's just full of demonstrations, make and takes, hourly raffles. I'm sure many of our friends are in the room, have been to our open days. So yeah, so the open days and the summer retreats are in Ditton, near Maidstone in Kent. So lots of free parking. We have refreshments on the day as well. And then the summer retreats are in the same venue, a fantastic community centre. Staff are absolutely amazing, always helpful. So, and then so that's the open days and the summer retreats are in Ditton. And then our parchment retreat, which is in October, that's in Tunbridge Wells at the Spa Hotel. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. So now these ones here don't look as white, do they? Don't know. Have I missed them, do you reckon? Let's go back in and yeah, so the retreats are in blocks of 2 days. So I think it's either a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday, or a Tuesday and a Wednesday, Thursday and a Friday. I can't remember now. But all the dates are on the website. And I know they're filling up really fast. So you get your club discounts as well. The only thing you don't get club discounts on is the open day tickets. But you get club discount on the retreats. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, it's certainly starting to come together, isn't it? I mean, we're still a fair way off of what Lynn's done here, but not much really. And then when we start to move in with the shader tool down here, I'm trying to hold off on using the shader tool until the other two come in, because I want to be able to use the different sizes for the different areas. So yeah, so we're going to carry on using the ball tools in the top two next week as well. So I need to mark off that I've done another layer, because I'll forget come next week. Where is the pencil gone? Pencil. Okay, so that would indicate now that I've done 2 layers of the 6, 2 layers of the 4.5, and then next week we're going to move down to the 3mm ball tool for the next layers. And there's excuse me, and it's not saying, although we're going sort of from large down to small, we can still go back in again with the larger ball tool afterwards if we feel that maybe it needs a little bit more. And maybe you find that working with the 6mm is easier for you to handle than it is with as you get smaller and smaller. But I know if you go with the smaller ones first, what can tend to happen is that whilst you're doing the white work, for example, so if I go to this one, so if I go with the 6mm, I'm going to go on really heavy. So that's just going up and down with the 6mm. This is the, no, that wasn't the 6mm, that was the 4.5. So that's your 6mm, that's your 4.5, and this is your 3. And then if I go to the Groovi number 4 tool, and then the number 3, so if you're working in an area like this, say it's a petal, and you're using the number 4 tool, say the warning tool, you've got to be more slower when you're moving it along. Okay, so if I take that, for example, and I take the number 6 ball tool, then I'm covering a larger area more easily. So there's less chance of, when you turn it over, sort of seeing, I'm going to go in like that, where you've got sort of areas. Let me come in on this one, where you have sort of areas of gaps in between, you see. Whereas using the larger ball tool, it's unlikely to happen when you're moving the ball tool from left to right or right to left, whichever way you go. So, so next week, we're going to carry on with the ball tools. Hopefully the shader tools may be back in next week. And then we can then have a look at the shader tools afterwards. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you once again for joining me. I'm going to let you all back to nibbling on your Easter eggs if you've got any left. Don't forget, so Thursday evening, 7 o'clock in the Shack with Barb, letter F for fantastic, or Thursday, depending on how you say Thursday, and then on Sunday, Create and Craft 3 till 5. So thank you as always to lovely Sue for popping all the links up, and the fantastic design team, and obviously everyone at home for joining me again this week, and I hope to see you again next week. So take care now, stay in and craft, don't go out, no need to go out regardless of what the weather's doing, and I'll see you all next week. Take care now, bye bye.